Hello, everybody. This is Taylor Riley here. I'm so happy to be with you today. We have Don joining us. Hi, Don.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Don has volunteered to share some of his time with us today to tell you a little bit about his health journey, what he was struggling with before, and how he's feeling now. So thank you, Don, for being here with us and offering up your story to help inspire those people at home who are maybe struggling in a similar way. So talk a little bit, please, about what your initial concerns were.
Well, maybe go back and I'll start at the beginning and say, a couple of years ago, I had shoulder surgery and gained some weight as a result of that. I'm usually a pretty active person. I'm 72 years old, and I like to maintain, again, an activity level. I walk, I ski, I bike, I do a lot of different things. But anyway, along the way, I gained some weight. And then COVID came and I gained some more weight. And then I came and found, or more accurately, maybe Taylor found me. So, it's just kind of one of those things that bolt out of the blue kind of, anyway, go this way kind of experience. COVID, I gained some more weight. And so when it started having some health consequences, I did my A1C level. And I was just shocked at that point at how high it had gotten. Doc had said that, you're in a pre-diabetic stage, before I elevated into type 2 diabetes. And, at the pre-diabetic stage, I wish the medical profession was a lot more forceful in saying, pay attention now, and rather than getting to the next level. And of course, I didn't, and I wasn't thinking, okay, so I'm pre-diabetic, so what? And so I hit type 2 diabetes with an A1C that was, pretty elevated. And then I started reading about type 2 diabetes and was like, oh my God, this stuff is really serious. I could go blind. I could have neuropathy. And I was starting to experience some neuropathy in lower extremities and just things. And it's like, I wish I had paid better attention before I tipped over into that range. So, and anyway, searching around the internet and trying to find some solutions here. I finally got involved with Taylor, and so we had some conversations, and I've been involved in the program, and so things have been changing for me, and I've dropped about 30 pounds. I'm going for a bit more yet, and my A1C has dropped from 11.1 down to 6.9 in the time frame that we've been working. So I see this as a lifelong journey, not just something to do for a while. So it's a fairly dramatic shift to really change the way that you're eating. It was more just shifting the kinds of foods that I was eating. The biggest shift was learning to, again, carbohydrates are okay. Fruits and vegetables, and fruits in particular. It's again, when you start looking on the internet, and there's a lot of old information out there about carbohydrates are something to avoid. And as it turns out, carbohydrates is not something to avoid when you're in this insulin resistance phase. And so it's again, it was a real overhaul of how you eat, how I eat, so anyway, so that was a dramatic shift, and one that I'm still learning. And again, when Taylor and I first started working together, I refer to myself as a survival cook, not one that finds that the kitchen and myself are not necessarily best friends. And I would say that we're still not, but it's getting a little closer.
You're amicable now. Yeah. You're more acquaintances than before. And that's a big one. First of all, I'm not sure what to eat, right? Because you had tried one meal a day, you had tried fasting, you had tried shifting some of the foods you were eating initially, and you didn't see the scale tip, right, in the direction that you were hoping, with the urgency, especially, that you hoped, right, since you were trying to really get that A1C down as well. It wasn't just about the weight. But yeah, then that's a big question that I have too. Like, am I going to be able to do this? Like, is this going to require, all this extra brain power from me? Because a lot of the things that we find on the internet, like you started to talk about, like completely restricting carbohydrates, or another big thing that I hear a lot is like macro balancing, eating a certain percentage of carbohydrates per meal. And am I going to have to be a mathematician? Am I going to have to get in the kitchen and, start weighing out all my food and looking at, carbohydrate to protein to fat ratios? And if I do that and it works, does that mean I have to live the rest of my life, doing such things in order to maintain a result? So, that's great. And what have you found? And I know that we're still on our journey together, and health is a lifelong journey, right? But like you said, losing that initial 30 pounds in the first 3 months and getting that A1C almost in half, right? And we're still working towards your continued weight loss and getting that A1C into a non-diabetic range, which is our ultimate goal. But what have you found in terms of your reservations getting into the kitchen? Have you found it to be a little bit easier than you expected in terms of eating in a way that's getting you this result?
I would say not initially. And
Okay. Yeah, of
but I am making some progress on that. And so I am making things that I have never made, and making it with ingredients that I've never thought of. So for me, simplicity and ease of access to food was probably what, it was easy to go grab a pizza rather than think about cooking something. And
Right.
Anyway, so, it's not that I won't ever eat a pizza again or any other foods that, it's again, Christmas and Thanksgiving was with family. And so I found that I could eat what was available there, but I was also not eating as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also choosing, so there's permission giving here in terms of being able to stray off the path, but not so far off the path and not for very long. So it's, again, you still want to be social and interactive with the people that you're with, and everybody, is going, well, what are you doing and why are you doing it? So anyway, so it's a shift. It definitely has been a shift. And
I love that word, because it really is. It's a lifestyle shift, because, even you were on vacation for 2 weeks in Mexico, right? During that initial 3 months that we were working together, where you saw such a good result. And I think that is the biggest difference between our work together and the work that I try to incorporate with you and each of my other clients individually, is taking into consideration the type of things you like to eat. For you, ease and simplicity was, the biggest thing to consider, and also to make a way of eating that is not only going to support your health concerns, but be doable, so you can go travel with your friends and enjoy the beaches of Cancun for a couple of weeks. You can go enjoy the holidays and still maintain and continue your weight loss, and still maintain and continue a healthy A1C. And, you got your blood sugar, down into a normal range, within the first few weeks. But like you said, there's nothing that is going to be off limits permanently, indefinitely. None of these hard rules that I feel like so many other things that people find on the internet are advocating for. Like you were saying, like no carbs ever, never again eat a pizza. I don't want to live in that world.
For sure.
So that's great. So, in addition to the weight loss, I remember when we first met, you said, you would have been so happy to have an initial, 10 pounds off in 3 months, and you tripled that. And I know, like I said, we're still continuing to get that A1C from it went from 11.1 to 6.9. We're going to look to get it to 5.7 or below. What do you feel like? I mean, those are great metrics, but what do you feel like now? How has this affected you bigger than what the scale says or bigger than what the lab results say?
My energy level is more consistent throughout the day. Like I said, I do a lot of different things. I walk anywhere from 3 to 5 miles a day, and that certainly is easier. It's ski, bike ride, swim. So I like to stay pretty active. And again, having a little less weight makes all of those things just easier. And again, my energy level throughout the day seems to be pretty consistent. And before losing the weight and dropping the A1C, I would frequently take an afternoon nap. So it was I just needed a recharge, and so that's a pretty significant difference. Of being able to move around the world easier.
When you went in and saw that you dropped from 11.1 to 6.9 in a matter of a few months, how did that feel?
Well, it was a good feeling, and the doc, I mean, he had prescribed medication, and I chose not to utilize the medication, chose a different path. And when I got the 6.9 result, I got an email from him saying, "I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it."
So that's great to know that you have found something that's working for you, that's giving you your energy back, that's helping that weight really come off in a way that it's staying off, right? Not yo-yoing, in a way that you can eat that's doable, that is fitting into your lifestyle. And I love that, because that's what we're here for. And if you wouldn't mind to share, please, while the weight loss and the health obviously is what brought us to work together, it's nothing in comparison to what it gives you back. So if you wouldn't mind to share with everybody who's listening, what you were really doing this for, what really your goal was. Because I think that is so important for people to consider. It's not just about that number on the scale. It's about how you live differently, about longevity. And what was that for you? What really put you in that place?
Well, I think once I got the elevated A1C and clearly was in the type 2 diabetes range, I literally was standing at the fork of the road. And so I had an opportunity to say, okay, I'm either going to change my lifestyle, or I'm going to resign myself to getting less well as time goes on. Diabetes is pretty insidious. It's not a good thing. I mean, it doesn't play out health-wise in a good way. And so I made the choice to go the other path, and it is paying some dividends for me. And I have 4 grown children. I have 6 grandchildren, and I don't want to be sleeping on the couch. I want to be interactive with the family. And so it was a lifestyle change, and I want to get to, I mean, I don't know, who knows how many years anyone has left, but for as many years as I have, I want to feel as healthy and engaged with the world and life as possible. I think anybody that finds themselves in the type 2 diabetic range, and you're standing at that fork in the road, I mean, clearly you have a choice. And I guess I would encourage everyone to make a lifestyle change that will lead you towards better health. I mean, what have you got to lose?
Yeah, beautiful.
And Taylor's been a good guide along the way, and very knowledgeable, and offers a lot of good suggestions, and as far as being able to fine tune some of the things that I'm attempting to do, and again, questions that I have, and keep pointing me in a better direction. Show up and change your life.
Oh, I love that. Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much, Don. I really appreciate you being here. And I know those that are going to be watching are going to appreciate the inspiration too. And I, wish you continued success in your journey and in our work. Together.